Thanks, Ken Corley. I think it's quite striking that amidst all of the praise of Minister Coveney as a great statesman and everything else, what we've had an absence of from the government is actually a repetition of the detailed narrative that Minister Coveney put forward to cover up for what was very clear cronyism. And why is that? And I think it's because to do so, to simply lay it out fact after supposed fact, is to reveal how ridiculous it is. So just to start, to go through a few issues of what Minister Coveney claims. He claimed that there was no lobbying for this position. He actually slightly revised his position at the second committee meeting, where he said, well, there was no formal lobbying for this position, because obviously anyone who can read and can see Catherine Zappone's messages, no question that that was lobbying. Secondly, he claimed that there was no job offered until July, despite the text messages from Catherine Zappone saying, thank you so much for offering me this incredible opportunity. Before the job spec was even written, obviously she got a hand in writing the job spec later. He then claimed that he deleted the message about this because his phone was running out of space. I think the Minister has an iPhone, if not a probably high-end Android. They can contain about 350 million messages. I'm sure you're a popular man, I'm sure you receive a lot of text messages, but that was incredible, and so that story was changed within about 12 hours. So then the story was that the Minister deletes the messages because his phone is subject to security breach, hacking, etc. The only problem with that, and this came up in the second committee appearance, is that in order to square the circle of not breaching the FOI Act, but simultaneously saying that you delete text messages because of your phone being hacked, what the Minister said is that he doesn't breach the FOI Act, he doesn't delete any message to do with government business, and he deletes the other messages. So what he's actually telling us is that he deletes the unimportant messages, not the ones related to government business, and leaves the government business ones on the phone for the supposed hackers to be able to access. It's just a nonsense. Every aspect of the story is a complete nonsense. He's clearly, in contrast to what the Taoiseach was saying earlier, it is clearly in breach of the FOI Act to delete text messages relating to the appointment of someone to a government position between a minister and the Taoiseach. And why does any of this matter? Because this cronyism which is being covered up is not an accident. It's not a bug, it's a feature of how capitalism and how Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael operate. Look at the protesters outside about the housing crisis. Well, it was Minister Coveney who produced the Rebuilding Ireland plan, deleted from the internet, but still existing in hard copy. A plan which was about inviting in the vulture funds, the REITs and the corporate landlords. It was Minister Coveney who wrote the legislation in conjunction at the behest of the developers for strategic housing developments, with disasters across the city and across the country as a consequence. It was the Minister who said by July 2017 we'll have an end to homeless people in hotels and emergency accommodation. It still exists today. They're the consequences of the policies of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. You have a wafer-thin majority now. The government should go, allow people to kick you out.
Deputy Barry.